Hello you guys, so now we're going to plant this other half of this bed. This bed is just about 12 feet long, so, well, it's 11 feet 8 inches or something. So we planted this side in beets with some flowers on the end to attract bees. This bamboo piece is the midpoint. And then this side we're going to plant actually 3 different things here, I think. So we've got spinach seed. I've saved 2 different varietals of spinach from MI Gardener. Some kale from Adaptive Seed. I'm only going to do a row of that because I'm not convinced I like kale yet. But at the very end I'm going to plant some loofah when they are ready to plant. And the reason I'm going to plant loofah there is that I've got this cage that will take it over to this fence, and then it can vine out up and down this fence. So for those of you that haven't watched my loofah video from last year, you know those loofah sponges do not come from the ocean. Well, maybe some of them do, but they're actually a member of the cucumber family. So the ones you get, you know, like with those 3 section holes in it, come from a plant. And last year we tried to grow some. It was an utter failure because we got late rains, they got wet. I tried to dry them out and it didn't work. So bleh, whatever, we're going to try it again. Okay, so let's get started on some spinach and some kale. Too early to plant the loofah, so we'll plant that in the greenhouse later. And for you guys that are looking at these things and wondering what they are other than a dog dish with water in it and a bottom of a Coke and a bottom of I think a nut jar or something. These I like to fill with water and rocks, and it attracts bees. Bees need drink, so let them come drink from my yard, and then they can pollinate my stuff. We lost our hives this winter, which we got to figure something out. We're doing something wrong, or they swarmed again. So we've had swarms for the last several years, and it's starting to wear thin. Anyway, that's a different topic for a different video. So let's get the spinach in and the kale in, and I'll show you what it looks like to plant it. Thanks for watching, and hold on. So I'm just clearing this little row here to go ahead and plant the spinach in, and I thought I'd show you this. This is always a fun thing to get. There's a potato in here. I didn't plant potatoes in here, but it's a real, it looks like a dolphin, doesn't it? Its little eye and its little nose. Oh, shit, I pulled the nose off. Anyway, still kind of looks like a dolphin. I'm going to leave the dolphin potato because it might give me a whole plant. I can feel that it's attached in there, so I'm just going to plant around it and let it grow. But either a squirrel, a bird, or my dog, most likely my dog, brought it here because she doesn't like to eat potatoes, but she's a Labrador, so she likes to carry stuff and bury it. Anyway, we'll continue on. Okay, so I've dug up this area, and because I'm going to eat the spinach fresh and not freeze, when it comes to freezing I like to do Swiss chard because I have so frickin' much of it. But I'm going to plant 1/4 of this bed with spinach now. I'm going to leave this section open. I'll plant some kale and loofah. Kale will do in a few minutes, but this section I'm going to leave, so I'll plant it again in about 2 or 3 weeks with spinach. Plant, 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 and keep eating until it gets hot, and then I will switch to an entirely different crop in here, maybe tomatoes, tomatillos, something like that. So anyway, I roughed up the soil over here, and now I'll just take a look at how I plant the seeds. Spinach seeds are big. They're not gigantic, but they're still pretty big enough for you to hold on to. So I'm going to plant a row, not as carefully as the beets, because I like my spinach a little wild. It'll grow up wherever it can find some space. Spinach is super resilient. And why you're asking why I'm not growing lettuce is because I fail at lettuce. I do not understand. I've never been able to get lettuce growing well, so I just don't plant it anymore. I just stick to the other greens. Alright, so that was my home saved spinach seeds. Now I'm going to plant some of these in this next section. But just to show you, I just did an open scatter. And there's that potato that was there earlier. And again, we plant seeds twice as deep as they are tall, and that means not very deep because these are not very big. So I'm just going to give them a tamp down. I'm going to just put some, oops, sorry, a little bit of dirt over the top. And then we're going to bring in mulch. And cover that. I really don't care what spinach I plant where from a bed point of view. I'll mark it in my notebook. But right now, I don't really care that this is my homegrown spinach and seeds, and this will be the in my gardener seeds. But I will mark it in my notebook. So let's plant these up. All right, I'm going to plant the kale seeds here now. Back up a little bit, and I'm going to plant them very similarly to how we did the spinach. Just kind of throw them around. I have never grown kale before, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe a little more. So I can collect kale seed, but it looks like I need to have plants that are a minimum of 2 years old, like carrots, biannual, I think is what it is. I can't talk. Biannual, I believe. So it means plants got to be 2 years old to produce seeds for collection. So anyway, we'll go ahead and put this back on top, the mulch, and then I'll show you what we've got going on here. Okay, so the mulch is back over the kale. So what I did is I labeled this kale. This is the area that I left open, so I put a little tag here that says open, so it's open on actually till the kale, till there. These are the spinaches I planted here, and the beets are all down here. So we've got this whole, almost this whole bed planted. Again, the end's going to be for the loofah. So let's see what it looks like when I put it in my notebook. Alright, so this is my unimpressive drawing of my above raised beds that we just planted in. These are mostly still open, so I'm not marking them up yet. This one's full of garlic. And you can see 415 we planted beets here. We planted the spinach, and then I put which varietals in which column, then the kale, and then future loofah. So this is just how difficult this needs to be. As long as you can read it, it's good to put in the notebook. So I'm going to do 2020 up here, just so we remember. And there you have it. That's how to plant spinach and kale. Thanks for watching, you guys.